Hello and welcome to Patched. I'm your host, Paul James. Today I'm joined by Matto Phillips. How's things, mate?
Wet.
Yeah, it's been a day.
It has been a day of just rain. Not
It's
quite heavy rain, just rain.
Mother Nature shitting all over us after getting a pretty sweet day the day prior and going, oh, sweet. It's like, here we go. We're getting
What a
that
look.
springtime weather, and all of a sudden, it
And
pisses
then it
down.
just goes, no, you're not having that. Have some rain.
Yeah, no, it's been awful. And the wind was pretty bad as well. I've had a few trees break already today. I'm like, sweet, going well. Love to see it. But let's not talk too much about the weather because we've got a new Bond game coming, and that's in the form of 007 First Light. Comes from IO Interactive, so the Hitman team. It's kind of, I think, their first licensed game outside of all of their own Hitman work. And we're going to I'm going to project it for everyone who's watching. Sorry, everyone who's listening. The video version of the show, we
Yeah,
are kind of
you're not,
playing
you're not
the.
going to see anything,
Yeah, you're not going to
unfortunately.
see shit. But for the video watchers, you're going to see some of the gameplay that was shown. Just kind of projecting on the screen as we chat through this one, and we're not watching along with it. We've already been there and seen it, and Matto can't see exactly where the video's at in this particular case. But we'll just kind of talk about some of our impressions from the showcase, what we thought, what we liked, what we didn't. So I guess going from the top, Matto, what were some of your big takeaways from this?
Oh, there is one takeaway. One big takeaway from this game.
Go on.
Kicks. Sliding kicks
Yeah, it's pretty good.
over car bonnets. I saw that and thought, that's cool. You don't see Rockstar doing anything like that, do you? No.
I was also a big fan of, and this is jumping a fair way through the sequence, but there's the airport bit, and the car, like that other car comes rolling in, and Bond like shoots at like the barrels, the petrol leaks out that gets across the car, and then he
Oh,
lights up
yes.
the barrels, and you just see the fire streak after the car and then blow the car up as well. Thought that was really really cool as well.
And also the
Um,
cutscene where the truck comes flying into you and then it just goes to a cutscene of you just driving that vehicle. I thought, that's impressive.
Look, the main drive, like the two main driving sequences they go through in the demos were pretty slow. I don't think that was overly great. They could probably speed them up a little bit. Maybe just crank up the acceleration speed just a little bit. For the sake of, I mean, like we're as people are watching this now, we're kind of looking at the sequence where he rolls up in his Jag up to the front of the manor, and that was a bit slow. There was also that other sequence, like it was kind of they were driving out to where they needed to go, like to the airport where they need to be, and I feel like that could have been a bit that could have been a bit quicker as well. I think pacing wise, it wasn't great, but also just compared to a lot of other games where you can kind of get behind the wheel of a car, even if it is just to get from point A to point B, it felt like you were driving really slowly. Like it didn't feel the
Yes,
high
you're
speed
doing
Bond
you're
style stage.
yeah you're doing the speed limit, which is not Bond like.
Yeah, and considering one of these sequences was like a chase of sorts, or you're trying to get somewhere quickly, that didn't kind of compute for me. But otherwise, like I think the on foot stuff really really cool. You can see hints of Hitman. I'm not a big Hitman guy, so I like that it's kind of you can see the elements of it. Like you got a lot of choice. You can kind of attack things your own way, but at the same time, it's more. I think in a lot of ways, it's kind of Hitman crossed with Uncharted. Like there's the
Yes,
cinematics of Uncharted. There's
the
the
stealthiness of
style
Hitman.
and thingo. There's like the choice of Hitman, but then I think the execution of Splinter Cell. Like I think it's
Oh yeah,
a bit more accessible. I think for players than the typical Hitman thing, which is still like you put a toe wrong and the whole thing goes to shit. You've
yes,
got a little bit of scope here with Hitman. I feel like it's a bit more Splinter Cell like. Um, but I'm all about how it's all coming together. Again, there's I think that driving stuff was a little bit on the weaker side, but otherwise, I think this game's in really good shape. No, I think the thing we kind of learned at the end was that it's coming out on March 27th as well, which is
6 months, 6 months ish.
yeah, we've got about 6 months, and that's more than enough time to fix up. There were some concerns that I admit I didn't notice, but I was kind of initially when I watched it the first time, I was kind of watching it on my phone. Um, I wasn't wild about like apparently sorry, some people weren't wild about the frame rate. There was apparently some performance drops and those sort of things at different stages. But if the game's 6 or 7 months out, it'll be fine. And who knows, maybe it's just the PC version. We know that nothing works well on PC at the moment. Console's where you want to be, everyone.
I'm
But yeah,
surprised they didn't show it on a PS5 Pro like they do with every other game.
look, to be fair,
Or did they?
it probably was running on PS5. There was probably some little disclosure thing at the beginning that we've scrolled past now. I'm not going to scrub back and try and find.
It was a state of play for,
It was a
wasn't
state
it?
of play, so it
So
probably
probably
was running on
PS5 Pro.
PS5 or the PS5 Pro. But they've got 6 or 7 months to optimize this thing, so I'm not overly worried if that's the case. They weren't like
Um,
major screeching to a halt style chugs.
I think what we saw 7 months out, I think it's looking pretty good as well.
Yeah,
For
I'd
what
say
we
so as
saw.
well. So, was there anything else in particular that really kind of caught your eye about it?
Just trying to think, like I said, the kick. But like you said, I have played like what you said, the newish, the more recent Hitman games, and that was the first thing I saw
The
when
World of
we
Assassination
sort
stuff,
of
yeah, one, two,
we
three.
sort of like scout. Yes, we sort of scouted around trying to get into the building to get to that trolley man or whatever he is, the shady man.
Yeah,
Got
which
on
is
his
what we're kind of watching at
suitcase.
the moment. So, as anyone who's watching the video version will see, this is the sequence where he's kind of scouting around the edge of the building. He's found the pipe. He's found the like all the climbable kind of garden. But then he's got someone standing basically right next to the ledge that he needs to jump off. So he needs to find a way to kind of flush him out. He's about to light the wheelbarrow with the leaves on fire to distract. And I mean, again, it was pretty basic. Like in my mind, in any stealth game, forget Hitman, forget Splinter Cell, that sort of thing. When the time comes and he kind of lights up that wheelbarrow, and then just kind of the guy walks across, sure, as you would. But then you're like 2 meters away and you jump over the ledge.
Yeah,
You're gonna notice that,
like,
fire or not. You're
you
gonna
gotta
notice
notice that. It's like someone's gonna notice it because in real life, we should say, if there's a wheelbarrow on fire, everyone's gonna look at it. Even the security guards that you're who are preventing you from getting into the building, are probably gonna look at that too. But I don't know, it's a game. But at the same time, you just look at it and go, yes, one person's not gonna get distracted by
Yeah,
a
lots of people are.
wheelbarrow on fire.
Lots of people are going to get their attention, and also like, and we're kind of coming up on it now as well. Like as you go stealthing through the garden to kind of get that key in the first place.
The lighter.
Yeah, sorry, yeah, the lighter for it in the first place. Like you, there's a bit there where you go from one garden bed to the other.
Yeah,
And
the guy sits
idea,
in
like,
there.
there's like a quick flap, like blip on the radar that shows, oh, you might have been spotted for a split second there, and someone's kind of half taken notice. I don't love that sort of thing either because, I mean, if I see something in the corner of my eye, I don't go, oh, no. Like
Oh, was that a person?
Was
Was
that
that a person in the
Like
bushes?
it's pretty
No,
on the
it
nose,
couldn't
right?
be.
So, there's those sort of things, and again, that's all video. Like you said, it's kind of video game stuff. We're not hunting, especially because it's a Bond game. We're not hunting absolute realism, right? But
No. Imagine
But
that as a
it was
Bond
good to
film.
see these different systems at play and how you can kind of connect something over here to what your main objective is. He's just lit up the wheelbarrow, so that dude's gonna walk over, and suddenly no one else is gonna notice or care. Yeah, they're all they're all just ignoring. Not to mention the bloke's just standing at, like, it's got the little question mark thing above his head, and he's just standing there watching the wheelbarrow. Like, oh
And
my god,
then
that's
and there's the
fine.
same thing as
I'm not going
with
to
the
tell you, but I'm
hose.
not going to try and put it out.
Yes, with the hose as well. The guy's just there looking at the hose and just thinking, "What do I do here?"
Yeah.
You just turn it off.
And then
Don't look at a hose.
And right now you're scrambling like across the ledge there, across the garden, and no one that's walking around is not going to notice you. And like it's
Oh yeah.
there's liberties, right? Like it's a little bit too. But
What did
these
he
are
say?
all things.
Penetration
And
test.
he
That's
jumps
what
through
he
the window
calls
and he
it.
says he's an inspector. He's like, yeah, look at that. Look at how easy I did. I'm like, fuck. And it's all part of the theatrics. It's all part of the Bond
I know.
mystique. It's all part of video games. It's one of those kind of verticals, but it's a lot. But the action itself really really cool. So I'm pretty stoked with the direction they're heading in. Visually, it looks pretty solid. And again, probably within another 6 to 7 months to continue to upgrade it, to continue to polish it, I'd imagine it's going to look better again. And you're right, this is pretty likely to be, just because we can't. I'm not going to scroll back and check it out now, but very likely to be that PS5 Pro version. It's looking like it's in pretty good shape. So we're currently skulking through the mansion itself. It's very detailed. Like there's lots of stuff going on around it, which is also very cool. Obviously, you'd expect a mansion to be highly decorated and those things, but there's just lots of lots of people, lots of environmental objects that you could potentially bump into or interact with in different ways, which I think is really, really cool. Like there's a lot going on in this world, which again feels very, very Hitman. Like you could make lots of mistakes, knock things over, bump into people. There's a lot you've got to kind of factor in. There's a lot of things that could go wrong at any given point as well, which I think was really, really awesome. In terms of the action itself, in terms of the gunplay and those sorts of things, how are you feeling? And I'm scrubbing a little bit forward here. We've just jumped into like a car chase sequence here.
I just liked when you get to the airport, and that agent lady gives you a gun, and you think, oh yeah, how's this going to go? Because with Hitman, if you get into like a gun battle, you're pretty much in trouble.
Yeah, he's not that.
But with this, like you walk up, you see the guard, whatever, and then you just see in the top third, it just says license to kill, and then just goes bang, shoots him. I thought, yes, this is what I like.
That's the real highlight of it. Like they're kind of creating this separation, right? Like you've kind of got the stealthy, more Hitman, Splinter Cell, more methodical thing, and then at key sequences, they're just like, go for it.
Go for your life. You're not going to get in trouble.
That third-person shooter, and that's where like some of your real Uncharted starts to come into it, where there's bullets flying everywhere and
explosions.
They start to get really cinematic, and in terms of things like explosions and stuff. I think it's really good. I am watching again this car chase, and it still feels slow. Not as slow as I remember, but it's still.
But it's also too with that as well. It's like, oh, turn left, or watch out, there's a tractor. And you're like, yes, I know, I'm driving. I can't see. I don't know if it was a tractor or not. It was like some object. He's like, oh, car. Like, I know there's a car there. I'm driving. Like, oh, turn left, turn right. Look, what is the other one? Turn left or right.
What is this? Forza Horizon telling me to take
it
for every
V
turn?
Rally.
Jesus.
Colin McRae's Rally Championship. What is this rubbish?
We're a mile off the track, like off the road now. We're bush bashing and crossing little suburban roads. There's a lot going on. Again, it all looks like visually it looks very good. I feel like they could have cranked the speed of it up and maybe another 10% or thereabouts.
Just do what they did with the rest of the trailer and just skip. I think they did in the end.
They did at one point, yeah.
At one point, they could just skip to like the airport. Like, yes, I know what a chase scene looks like. You don't have to do anything fancy, like go over a ramp, which you do anyway.
Yeah, we just went off the edge of a thing there and kind of found ourselves separated by the logging trucks and all those sorts of things. I feel like in terms of the chase, like setting aside the speed of it, I feel like, and we're talking about, I'm referencing Uncharted and those sort of things in there. There wasn't that big, like we're just going through this weird kind of big rock tunnel thing it's very architected. It's not a natural sort of shape or design. They probably could have done a bit more with some of the really cinematic stuff where maybe that falls down. We've just gone off the back of like a pickup truck there. They probably could have really leaned into some more theatric stuff within those car chases and made it a little more intense. Going through the tunnel feels real slow though. Just watching it now, it's real slow.
Just going at a steady 60 kilometers an hour through a tunnel.
Like,
no adrenaline whatsoever.
I guess they don't have a lot of experience with these
safe driving. Yes, that's true. I mean, the stealthiness shooting, yes. Not driving. Driving's not their forte.
So I'll scrub a little bit further
like I said,
through the trailer here.
They got time. They got time to do it, to fix up, boring car chases. Because no one likes a boring car chase.
New objective, catch the plane. I think we're about to stumble into our area and get our license to kill prompt. Which is, what we're all here for. There we go. The guy spotted us. He's pulling out his gun. License to kill's appeared. Headshot straight away.
Bang.
Like this feels really good. There's a lot of barrels and a lot of like video game style tropes there. Shoot the barrel, it'll blow up. Look at all this cover. Look at how all these things are strategically placed. After just having gone back and replayed Gears, the original, obviously now it's come to PS5, this all feels very, very familiar and very, very comfortable. But again, it's still like, as much as it might be lacking in some originality, it looks like it's going to be a really fun experience to play. So, and certainly very cinematic, and we're creeping up on the plane, We've thrown a bloke off the edge, like like heavily armored. We've thrown him off the edge of
Oh, is that where you
a
land on
railing.
him? Or you got? I haven't got to
No,
that part yet.
we threw one away and then ran off in a different direction. But hang on, there's
Ah,
another one.
yes.
Oh no, but he no, there it is. There. Yeah, we just drove the other one off the edge and landed with him. So, I mean, lots of really really cool stuff to it. Was there anything else that kind of really took your fancy about this? Because I mean, now seeing it in action
Let's
for
say,
me, this is
let's say,
absolute. And
if
yeah,
we
actually,
talk, we talk a
there's
little
bit of
bit. Where's the
chugging.
kick? The kick. Where's the kick? The kick will be coming up very soon.
Oh, have you kind of synced up with me for the most part? Are you
I
watching
think
along
so.
and
I,
kind of
I think
syncing
it.
up?
I think, and I'm not watching it. I know the part you're talking about this because we're very close to a
Actually, I'm a
kick.
big fan of, and what we just saw was like him throwing his gun. Yeah, we just slid
Oh
off the,
yes,
we
he
just
just
slid off the
heaves it
car.
like an
Yeah,
axe. Like
we just slid off the
woof.
car and kicked the guy in the head.
Yes,
But there we go. So we
because
just
that
shot the
is
barrel, and then the fire's
that's a
gone and
true
followed the
spy.
car
True
and
spy
blown
effort.
it up.
Just throw a gun at someone, just
Like that.
axe throw
That's
the
really cool.
shotgun. I just laughed and thought that is cool. It is very cool.
It is all the like. There's a lot of the Bond stuff that if you're a fan of the the franchise, I'm right
The
here
puns
for.
are there. The puns are also there.
Yeah.
So that's
Um,
another factor. If you, I know there's no audio on the video where he says I winged it or something, where he's on a wing.
I vaguely
I can
recall
do.
something like that though. And look, I mean, while we continue to let this, this kind of play out, like that release date itself, so the March 27th release date, it's not a bad time for it. Obviously, right now, GTA has staked its claim, basically 2 months from this point. So, like, that's plenty of time for the game to breathe. I also would say that the size of the Bond franchise means that not too many people are going to want to go near that. At the moment, they've got they're just 2 months before GTA and 1 month after Resident Evil Requiem. So you can already see a few of these kind of puzzle pieces coming in, like falling into place. But I think this is a pretty good spot for it. And certainly I would be, if I'm some other publisher out there, I'd be a bit anxious about getting too close to the game and its current release date. Presumably that's not going to change. What do you think about that timing of the game? We've just started
The
to build the
date?
plane too. So
Well, usually when I saw the date, I thought, okay, GTA is not around that time because we already said no one's going near GTA 6 when it comes out, unless you just want a franchise to die. All means, Gorilla, go for it.
look, if there was anything that could kind of still carve out its own community within it, it's probably something like Bond, like leveraging a big global IP. But I still wouldn't want to be taking the risk in the game where I'm like, GTA is absolutely going to suck up all the oxygen. So to have 2 months gap is probably a good thing. But again, I think most other developers would now be a bit anxious about launching anywhere around there. And I'm fine with all of that. So any other thoughts? I mean, this one's continuing to play out. We don't need to see it to its completion. But any other thoughts on what we saw?
No, it's just no. I just like I said, like you said, the driving's a bit boring, but I sort of understand at the same time. I think it's just to show what the game looks like. The scenery. If anyone's a fan of, the scenery, which
pan.
I'm not a fan. I'm there for the guns. That's what I'm there for. But I say overall, I know to start off with, when this trailer got shown, people were getting upset about the look of James Bond.
Yep.
To a point, I didn't care about that because this is the criteria I look for a Bond in any person. They're British, and that's it.
So our
As
new
long as they're
Bond
British.
is, what was his name again? Patrick Gibson, who's not someone I'm necessarily familiar with. 30-year-old Gibson will portray the youngest on-screen 007 007 to date, who is only 26 at the
Irish.
beginning of this story. He's an Irish actor. Oh, hang on. I should recognise this bloke. He was in Dexter Original Sin earlier this year.
He's the main guy. There you go.
But yeah, I mean, obviously new Bond, which is cool. I don't even know, where this fits with like the next Bond movie.
Or is he the new? No, he wouldn't be the new Bond.
No, it wouldn't be the new Bond on screen. Surely, apparently they're talking about late 2027. So even in terms of just giving people their Bond fix, this is not a bad time. You might convince some of those who are big film buffs to we're now falling through the sky here as we try to get the
Oh, the parachute.
yeah, as we try and get the parachute, and we watched a bloke get hit by a falling car.
Uncharted.
It's all very Uncharted. Here's where we're starting to really see some of that cinematography, Uncharted style. Just punched the bloke, his helmet fell off. There we go. We've just pulled the cord, and now our standard kind of Bond and 007 First Light just appeared.
Oh, yes.
But one of the things that actually I enjoyed, and they've just brought up Patrick Gibson on the screen here, but as I scroll ahead a little bit, like I really enjoyed that they did show and leaning into the stealth. They showed the multiple different ways you could approach the different situations. How you needed to get the camera, and so the way you could do that. But then also once you found yourself in some of these combat situations, you didn't just have to go all guns blazing. The license to kill thing would eventually pop up, but you could stealth take people out. You can use your little watch to. One thing they seem to be relying on pretty heavily is like dropping the lights, like causing the lights to, or whether it's via the watch or shooting lights. So it drops
again, I think your lights aren't very attached to the wall very well. If you just have a small little watch that could just shoot it down with ease.
Down it goes. But like there's some cool stuff in here. I'm scrubbing forward a little bit further. Yeah, so we've just gotten to the bit now where like you're trying to escape the guard, and so you've got the guard with his back to you, and obviously you can lure him over. It's interesting, like they talk about at the bottom of the screen, which I think is probably cut off for people watching this, but like there's the bluff thing, and it talks about not enough instinct. So it looks like there's some some sort of stats that you can build somehow that maybe make your Bond more charismatic to get what he wants, or more convincing to anyone, regardless of who that person is. That's kind of cool. They've got that mechanic going. I think they're about to scrub back and show us there's the couple guards that you take one out and then fist fight the other bloke, or use the watch to lure him away. Like there's the smoke. That's right, dropping the smoke bomb. Like there's lots of cool mechanics that you can rely on, which is exactly what you want from a Bond game. What I'd be really keen to know is if, like you kind of see in a lot of other stealth games, and I think about the likes of Dishonored and those sort of things, that in time, whether the security or whatever, like knowing, Bond's in the area and we know that he does this a lot, they start to learn and adapt to your playstyle a little bit, forcing you to do things differently. That would be kind of cool if they were able to get that going. Don't know if that is the case, because obviously this was such a small little vertical slice and they didn't talk about that element of it all. But there's some really cool systems at play. I'm really keen on it. Is this shaping up now to be kind of a must buy for you?
It wasn't at the start, because when you hear Bond films, and like we said in the past, there haven't been, I could not tell you a good Bond game since GoldenEye, because they've been either below average or I would say a quick money grab. Because early 2000s there were a few, and I don't think any of them were great.
Still tie-ins, like it was like a
like
Die
Nightfire
Another Day game and Nightfire and all those sort of things. And I don't think
From Russia with Love.
Yeah,
Agent Under Fire.
Amazing.
Then they remade.
Even the GoldenEye remake wasn't like, it didn't capture the magic of it.
Oh,
surprise! Activision.
And they put Daniel Craig in it. Nothing against Daniel Craig, but everyone's just going to go, hang on a second, you're not Pierce Brosnan.
Yeah. They had to go the right one. It was such an obvious and easy call, and they screwed it up. So, any other thoughts on this one as we start to wrap it up?
I might buy it.
Yeah,
I reckon I sort of feel like they'll show more closer to the date. So I would say we'll be at 6 months. I say give it about 4.5, 5 months. They'll show some more and go, hey, buy a game. Here's a limited edition car.
Yeah. So actually, let me quickly dig out.
Is there a collector's edition? Have they got that out already? What's EB got it for level 5 tier morons?
There was a pretty hefty one, if I recall. This is all in US dollars, but you've got so firstly, game reminder for everyone: it's coming to Switch 2, Xbox Series X and S, PC, PS5. Yes.
When I saw the price of Switch 2, I thought,
yeah, I can't imagine this is going to look too great on the Switch 2, but anyway. So there's the collector's edition, which oh shit, accidentally clicking on things. There's the collector's edition, which includes apparently you can get it Amazon, Best Buy, GameStop. Anyway, $299. So I don't know what that's going to work out for us, but
Let's do it.
oh, hang on. So wait, this is called. They've called it. Oh, sorry. That was the overall headline. So this is the Legacy Edition, which is the top of the line one. Comes with the game itself plus the following extras: a golden gun figurine, and
what?
stand and secret
Wrong movie.
Hey,
that's the wrong movie. I want an Ob Job hat, or Jaws is Jaws.
Look, maybe you get the golden gun somehow in this, but anyway. The golden gun figurine with stand and secret compartment, certificate of authenticity, steel case with magnet and full game, which is a disc-based one. They've made sure to stress. The deluxe edition DLC pack, 4 exclusive outfits, one new weapon skin, gleaming gadget skin pack, and exclusive DLC skins as well, golden gun and obsidian gold suit. So really, people are paying a lot of money for this golden gun figure.
How much? How much was it? Is that the $299 one?
$299.
Okay, so that's 453 Australian. Yeah, that's a lot. That's a lot of dollary dues.
Then you've just got the standard edition from there. So it doesn't look like there's any sort of in between at the moment. If you pre-order the standard edition, you'll get the deluxe edition upgrade at no additional cost, which gets you 24 hours of early access to the digital versions only. The deluxe edition DLC pack, so there's the exclusive, like all the stuff we spoke about before, and the skins for the guns as well. So, for those who do pre-order, especially if you pre-order digitally, 24 hours of early access. Which is fine. Like, it's not like you're not paying extra for it. It's not a special edition that you're having to pay extra for. It's just that, hey, if you want it, and you don't want to wait at all, then you can pre-order and just get it a day before everyone else who walks in and just buys it off the shelf. So, or buys it on their digital store. Especially if you're doing digitally though, there's almost like, unless the embargo ends up being like the day of, like the day that the pre-order editions go up, then you could potentially cancel your pre-orders or whatever. Otherwise, there's kind of no reason not to pre-order, because you're gonna get the game a day early. It's only a day, but if you want to get in, there is that. But
if you can't wait a whole day,
well, if you're paying the exact same amount, then there's no real harm, right?
No, but at the same time, if it comes out,
the information's out there, as long as it's not, and this would be my concern, is that the review embargo lifts at the exact same time that the pre-order, like the 24 hours early access kicks in, so people don't have any time to go, oh, it's like that, huh? And then cancel their orders. That would be, anyway, that is what it is. Any other thoughts though on 007 First Light?
None.
Right now, shaping up really well.
I say, make those car chases more exciting instead of just a leisurely drive through the countryside.
Or shorten them, whatever it is you need to do. But otherwise, it's looking pretty good. I'm pretty happy. Certainly, it's the first game that has a release date at this point. We're like, yep, 100% getting that one, because Resident Evil just continues to spook me. And GTA, I mean, look, I suppose I'd be lying if I said at some point I'm not going to get GTA, but I don't know if I'll get it day and date. Like, I'm in no rush.
I was say I'll get it, but it won't be day one.
Yeah.
So, like we said, it's not on our game of most anticipated games. It's not on the list. Definitely not for me.
Only
might have been this year. Might have been this year when we thought it was coming out this year, and then it got. I didn't think it got delayed. I think they just announced it. Oh, it's coming out next year. I can't remember.
Only because I don't know kind of what is slated for next year. I'll say it probably is. Apparently, I didn't realize. Apparently, High on Life has a release date for February next year, but or the new one. But yeah, at the moment there's not a huge amount that's got a date. But I think I'd be choosing Bond and the likes of the that Adventures of Elliot that was at the Nintendo Direct. I'd be choosing those over GTA right now. Scrolling through a list, and there's not a huge number of things that are really, but I'm expecting. So there's a few rumors about there being a state of play coming up from PlayStation where Wolverine is going to feature. So I'd imagine that potentially gets at least a release window. There's also meant to be Oh shit. Saros, the other one from PlayStation, so from the Returnal team.
Oh, the house.
That's
Oh,
also
totally. Yes, yes.
Housemark. That's meant to come out next year. Monster Hunter Stories 3 comes out next year. Fable is meant to come. Okay, no, actually, now as we start queuing these up, I'm like, oh no, actually, I can probably think of enough games that are ahead of GTA.
I say, just keep knocking it down the list, old GTA.
Yeah. And Nintendo, like, this doesn't really even factor in Nintendo, and they're gonna probably wheel out a whole bunch of stuff. So, yeah, maybe GTA doesn't quite fit on my list, but definitely 007 First Light off the back of this. That's got a place. And I'm keen. Any other thoughts?
No.
All right. Well, we'll wrap things up there. If you've enjoyed this episode of Patch, please be sure to like, share, and subscribe. All the buttons down below. Hit the notification bell. That way you're alerted to every new video the moment it goes live on the channel. That includes Patched. There's Let's Plays, Shorts, and a whole lot more. Visit the website, player2.net.au, for reviews, previews, opinion pieces, news, features, links to the podcast series Patched, the Player 2 Pixelcast, and Dev Diary. We're on Patreon, patreon.com/player2au. Kick it a few bucks. Lower tiers, early access. Higher tiers, monthly episode exclusives. And finally, there's Twitter. Socials. Matto.
Battlefield.
Paul Jazz Games for myself. The website is player2au. And actually, just speaking of PlayStation at the end here, obviously they ran this state of play. They also have allegedly this state of play coming up where Wolverine might feature there, so plenty for us to keep a bit of an eye out for there. But also shout out to them who hosted something in Melbourne the other day, invited me out to it. This is where this little Astro shirt came from. But it was just like they basically don't, by their own admission, they're like, we don't really visit Melbourne very much. We're based up in here in Sydney. We haven't been doing it much in a while. So they kind of got media, and then also they kind of gave us media folks a little bit of a window just for ourselves before they let all the influencers come pouring in. But it was a pretty cool.
You sound real happy about that. It's like, oh, those bloody
some of them are right.
influencers.
Some of them are right. It turned out, and I've got to double check his name now because we're now following each other on Twitter. But one of them that came rolling in ended up being a fairly big name, actually, AFL content creator, Jack Tosol. We end up having a fairly lengthy chat through the whole thing, obviously about all things finals, and
I'm guessing he's not played.
And then competing against each other at Astrobot with some of the different challenges there, trying to get the fastest time. It was good. So some really good people come through the door, both on the media and influencer sides. It was at a Japanese restaurant. Lots of cool fried chicken and lots of and there are other options that they had going there the beers were flowing. It was a Wednesday night. I had every plan of going and playing basketball.
Drink it all school night. You can't do that.
That didn't eventuate. Oh no, like I was punching the beers. It's fine. There was no basketball. I don't know if the team was wild about that. We lost. It was first versus second, and I bailed. But we already had second locked away, so no harm, no foul, and now we go play finals this week. So, anyway, thank you very much to PlayStation for that. It was a good time. But we'll wrap things up there. If you, like I said, thanks a lot for watching this episode. I nearly went through the whole.
You can do it again if you want.
I nearly wrapped the show up a second time. Thanks as always, mate, and we'll see you later.